Hi everyone, it's Serena. Welcome to my YouTube channel. The other day I flipped through the first pages of my watercolor journal and saw lots of room for improvement, but I also saw how I made it harder for myself, and I thought about how we artists often put limits on ourselves and how a few simple tips could improve our work. Let's take a look. Number 1. Always swatch your paints on the paper you're going to do your final painting on. I often swatched on less expensive paper, which I thought, it's wasteful to use good quality paper for swatching, right? But look at the difference. Now, see the difference in swatching on a relatively inexpensive page. And you can see the difference in these colors here, the May green, the olive green, and the olive green yellowish. You can see those right there. See how it spread on the paper and went into the grooves, but here you see a more even tone. And you can see on this paper, which is what I'm drawing on, this is my journal, you can see how brilliant and transparent those colors actually are there. You can see the color here, but you don't really see the transparency. So definitely use the paper that you're going to paint on. Think of it as an investment in your art. Don't think of it as you're wasting the paper. Now, number 2, plenty of people paint from imagination, and they're great at it. I'm not. Now, look what happened when I tried it. The lesson for me is I really need a reference. Whether you're drawing from life or a photo, use a reference. I mean, I could just go so far without really seeing what I was doing, what I was painting. I was just guessing and using my imagination. So use a reference whenever you can. Number 3. Try using watercolor pencils instead of graphite on rough sketches for your painting. Use the colors that are closest to your subject and they won't show through like graphite. See how that I've got the graphite marks right there. And if you paint over them, they don't really erase easily. But if you use colored pencil, you can have some nice subtle lines there that you can still follow, but that won't really show through on your final painting. Now, number 4, try new materials or techniques on scrap paper first to see how they react on paper. I'm thinking of frisket that won't come off cleanly if left on too long, or your tape pulling your paper up with it. Now, I tried it on this swatch paper here, which was not the best quality, and you can see how I don't know if you can see that, you can see how the tape pulled right up. It pulled the paper right up along with the tape itself. So I got the nice borders, but you can see the tape marks right there where it just ruined the paper. So try new techniques and materials on a scrap of paper. But also when you're trying something you expect will look great, and it comes out looking like this, this is not how I wanted it to look. There's a couple other layers that have to go into this, but here it is on the inside of my front cover, and it's there permanently. It's not going anywhere. Oh well. Number 5, don't be afraid to experiment. You may get exciting results that you don't expect. Now, I was just playing around with this just to see what I could get out of it, and I kind of like that watercolor tie-dye look to that. And I even tried it on another page here, and it's not realistic at all, but I really liked the way that it came out, conquer your fear that your work won't come out perfect if you experiment. There's this feeling that one mediocre piece ruins your whole sketchbook. But remember, sketchbooks are for experimentation and practice. So have some fun with it. Try different things. Number 6. One thing I'm going to do is set aside a few pages in the back to test out different techniques. Don't get stuck in a rut, you know. Use a sponge to apply paint. See what happens when you put on salt. How does it make the paint move? Do you like a softer edge or a taped border? Try different things. I think with test pages, I won't be so afraid to. How about you? Number 7, next, use your sketchbook often. Don't just save it for vacation trips or the perfect subject. Your sketchbook is for experimentation. Practice. Don't be afraid of the blank page monster. Don't be afraid of that. Use it. I read a funny quote, and I wish I could give proper credit to the person who said it, but they said something like about watercolor journals. They said, use them. They're not holy relics. And that's true. Now, I hope you got some useful tips from this video. If so, hit the like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget, the only way you'll get better is to draw and paint often. So practice, practice, practice. And hit that subscribe button too. See you next time.